Let's play a game. Welcome back to Nervous System or Not, a game where I'm going to give you a prompt and then 3 possibilities, whether it's part of your nervous system, overthinking, anxiety, whatever it is, and you get to guess what it is. So last week, our prompt was, I say that I'm fine, but I overthink the conversation for hours on end and I feel tight in my chest. So, the 3 possibilities were, is this overthinking, is it anxiety, or is it nervous system activation? Well, the answer is nervous system activation. And here's why. So when we have conversations with other people or we have social interactions, our body is constantly looking for threat assessment. So it can look for physical threat assessment, but this is also considered social threat assessment. So when we have a conversation with somebody, especially if it's a difficult one or an emotional one, we are likely to become activated. And I mean, like, our nervous system is becoming activated. That's why we also feel tightness in our chest. That's physiological arousal. So when this happens, our sympathetic nervous system, the one that works with emotions and all that kind of stuff, it becomes activated, and that's why we rethink the conversation in our head later on. This is basically our brain's way of saying, okay, something happened here. What could we have done better? How can we assess for threat next time? What can we do differently? And that's why we feel like we're obsessing about the conversation, but it's actually our brain helping to mitigate any sense of social threat later on in another conversation that could be similar. This is actually a form of survival. I also want to point out that threat does not mean that the people we interact with are harmful to us. It's something that our brain always does. We're assessing threat wherever we go because we are animals. We are survival animals. So when we're in social situations, our brains are constantly looking for something that can harm us in a social manner. So we could have a difficult conversation with a friend or a loved one and still go over it later on because our bodies and our brains are looking for that threat, even if it doesn't exist. Okay, so on to this week's prompt. Okay, so this one is, and I do this all the time, so it is, I immediately apologize for something even when it isn't my fault. Is this politeness? Is this fawn mechanism? Is it low self-confidence? Or is it just being Canadian? Sorry, that last one was just, not real. Anyways, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on that one, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.